Good morning, students. Today I am not teaching the third chapter, but I am going to clear your doubts. One of the students asked me to explain some important points with regard to this lesson. You remember that every topic is important for you, so you have to read and study. Once again, I will give a brief summary of this lesson for your knowledge, so that you will get a perfect idea about this lesson. Now I will revise. Please listen. You have already learned about the tissues. What is tissues? It is defined as a group of cells having similar structure and performing a specific function. This definition we have studied very well. In this chapter, we have learned about the plant tissues and animal tissues. Plant tissues are classified into two types. Please remember and keep in mind, don't forget. These are meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, first is about meristematic tissue. So meristematic tissues are group of young cells. These are actively dividing cells, and they continuously divide and produce new cells. This is the main characteristic feature of the meristematic tissue. And these meristematic tissues are classified into three types. First one is apical meristem, second is lateral meristem, and third is intercalary meristem. So apical meristem, where is the location of this meristem? So it is found at the growing tips of the plant parts such as roots, stems and branches. What is the function of this apical meristem? It is responsible for increasing the length of these parts. These parts means roots, stems and branches. And next is about lateral meristem. The location of this meristem is at the lateral side of the stem. The function of this lateral meristem is for increasing the thickness or width of the stem. And the last one is intercalary meristem. This meristem is found at the base of the leaves or just above or below the nodes. Its function is to increase the longitudinal growth of a plant at internodes and leaf base. Next we are going to revise permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are derived from the meristematic tissues, or they are formed from the meristematic tissues, and they have lost their power of cell division, and they perform specific functions. These permanent tissues are classified into two types. They are simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. The simple permanent tissues are further classified into three types. They are parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. The location of parenchyma is in plants where they are found. They are widely distributed in stems, roots, leaves and also found in flowers and fruits. What is the function of this tissue? This tissue stores food material and provides support to the plant. Next is about collenchyma. This collenchyma is present in the leaf, petiole and stem, and their function is to provide mechanical support and strength to the plant and leaves. And last one is sclerenchyma. It is found in the stems, roots and in the veins of leaves. This tissue provides mechanical support to the plant body. And so I have completed the explanation of simple permanent tissues, and we are moving to the complex permanent tissues. This complex permanent tissue is made up of more than one type of cells. There are two types, namely xylem and phloem. The function of this tissue is to conduct water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. That is the function of xylem. And what is the function of phloem? The phloem conducts or translocates the prepared food material from the leaves to various parts of the plant. Now we are going to revise another topic, that is animal tissues. These animal tissues are four major types depending on the function they perform. They are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. And then how is the structure of this epithelial tissue? The cells of the epithelial tissues are closely packed without intercellular space. That means they have no space between the cells, intercellular space between the cells. And they cover the external body surface and lines the various body cavities and internal organs. Another animal tissue is the connective tissue. This connective tissue widely spread throughout the body, and its function is to bind various tissues like skin with the muscles and muscles with the bones. This connective tissue is again classified into three types. They are connective tissue proper, supportive or skeletal connective tissue, and fluid or vascular connective tissue. Connective tissue proper has further divisions. They are areolar tissue, adipose tissue, tendon and ligaments. The location of these areolar tissue, where is they are present all over the body, and its function is to bind various tissues together. And adipose tissue is found beneath the skin, and its function is to store fat. Next is about ligament. The ligaments are another type of connective tissues. Its function is to connect one bone to the adjacent bone. And tendon is another type of connective tissue. This tissue connects the muscles to the bones. Next connective tissue is supportive or skeletal connective tissue. These are the strong connective tissues. This forms the supporting framework of the body. These are of two types. They are bone and cartilage. The bone is the hardest. We have studied that bone is the hardest connective tissue which form the skeleton, and this bone protects the internal body organs such as brain, heart and lungs, and they also helps in the body movement. And the cartilage is another connective tissue, another supportive or skeletal connective tissue. It is found at the tip of the nose, external ears and in the knee joint, and also found at the ends of the bone in the joint. Its function is to protect the bone from shock. Next is about fluid or vascular connective tissue. Blood consists of fluid matrix, that is called plasma. In this plasma, blood cells called blood corpuscles are present. There are three types of blood cells. They are RBC, WBC and blood platelets. The blood flows through blood vessels, and the function of blood is to transport nutrients, hormones and oxygen, and it also helps the body in the elimination of waste products. RBC transport oxygen and some amount of carbon dioxide, and the WBC, the function of WBC is to fight against diseases, and blood platelets helps in clotting of blood. Next fluid connective tissue is lymph. Lymph is a colorless fluid, or it is a straw colored fluid. It helps to fight against germs and bacteria and produce antibodies. And next we are moving to muscular tissue. Muscular tissue is called the contractile tissue, and it helps in the locomotion and movement of body organ. During the time of locomotion, animals can find out their food and escape from predators. And these tissues mainly three types. They are striated, unstriated, and cardiac muscles. The striated muscles are long cylindrical and unbranched muscles. Their rapid contraction and relaxation helps in the movement and locomotion. These striated muscles are under the control of an organism, so it is called voluntary muscles. Next is unstriated or smooth muscles. These muscles are small spindle shaped muscles and without dark and light bands, and they have a single nucleus is located at the center, and the contraction and relaxation of these muscles are not under our control, so it is called involuntary muscles. Next we are going to revise about the cardiac muscles. These muscles are also called heart muscles because they are present only in the walls of the heart. These muscles called involuntary muscles because these muscles are not under our control. These muscles allow the heart to pump blood to the entire body because they perform the rhythmic contraction and relaxation. And next is about nervous tissue. The nervous tissue composed of specialized cells, that is called neurons. It is a long cell. Neurons are responsible for carrying information between the brain and rest of the body. The neuron consists of different parts. The cell body is the main part of the neuron. It has a central nucleus and cytoplasm. It has cytoplasm, and another part is called dendron. This dendron carry electrical impulses towards the cell body. And the last part is called axon. This is the longest branch arising from the cell body. The function of this axon is to carry electrical signals away from the cell body.